Welcome to What Lights Up Your Soul. In this show, we talk about real life stories, practical tools, and honest conversations about what it takes to get out of your own way, take bold action, and build a life you truly love. Hello, welcome everyone to the Sharon Vidano show. I'm so thrilled to have this wonderful guest, Eva Vennari. Thank you for being here.
So glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So let me tell my audience a little bit about yourself. So you are a world-renowned healer and you're an international speaker, best-selling author, founder of the Elevate Institute, and inventor of the Path to Ascension programs. She is known for thinking differently in the realm of true holistic healing. So welcome, welcome. Sounds amazing. Quite the package there. So So tell me, it was a holistic healing. Was that always a part of you, or was that something that just kind of sparked in you? And when did that happen?
Always within me to some degree. I always had that desire to heal. I was the kid who, oh, you scratch yourself, let me go get a Band-Aid, from a long time in my youth. It was a desire to help people get better, whatever that was. And the holistic side was not something that was automatically nurtured, because that's not how we're raised, is it? When we think something is wrong, we do the allopathic method first, which is I'm going to go to the doctor, tell them what's wrong, and they're going to find out what it's called in Latin and then prescribe me medication. Allopathic, that's the hunt and kill method of healthcare. And holistic was not in my vocabulary. So that was a learned behavior through the process of doing the first part. So I spent 16 years going through doctor to doctor for my 30 different, what they were so generously willing to diagnose me with, things, but with no solution in mind. So I just switched gears when I finally heard it landed, finally, after many years. We don't know what's wrong with you. Oh, got it. I'm looking up the wrong things. I'm talking to the wrong people. Let me switch this up. And so holistic healing became something that was a result of that incessant search.
Got it. So, and yes, that is quite the light bulb. I know many times because we are taught to just constantly go to the regular doctor and then figure out what the symptoms are, and we throw pills at it and treatments at it. And sometimes we're not actually cured at all, if at all. What was the one, like maybe like if you're willing to share the one moment that was like a big aha, like a giant light bulb says, you know what, I'm done and this is the way. I know that you said it in general, but was there a one moment that actually jumped out at you?
No, it was a combination of them that kept building one after another, because I am very generous with my let's give this another shot, my optimism about maybe it wasn't that doctor, maybe it's another one. And there were 10 or so in a row, all of their own specialties, who all started saying that same thing. And I heard the pattern of, we don't know what's wrong with you. Like we don't have any idea why you're feeling so poor. Let me paint the picture. By the age of 20, I was diagnosed with autoimmune disorder and some viruses that they said were the cause of the autoimmune disorder. And Epstein-Barr was a very prevalent in the societal news that day, those days. This is 30 years ago now, and it's the reverse. You end up with the Epstein-Barr because your immune system is down. Nobody asked, well, why is your immune system suppressed? Nobody asked that. So that's how it started. And then by the time I was 22, I was told I was infertile. I had developed and ran through the course of scarlet fever. That's something from prairie days. Like, nobody gets scarlet fever these days anymore, but somehow I had it. And by the time I was 28, I was told I'm going through perimenopause. I had developed chronic fatigue, anxiety, insomnia, depression, fibromyalgia, itchy skin, heart palpitations, short-term memory loss, arthritis, osteoarthritis, degenerative disc disease, joint disease, hypothyroidism. The list is, again, they were very generous with, well, these are all the things that we think, are labeling what's wrong with you. And it just kept getting snowballed into something that was a greater collection of seemingly unrelated symptoms. And there was always that underlying hope. Someone like your first thought was, there's got to be that one thing. No, it was more or less not an avalanche, but just this slow build of realization. I'm not going to find the permanent answers for healing here. All they want to give me is depression medication. Quick story on that. The degenerative disc disease that was diagnosed by a doctor who himself was in a wheelchair had provided an MRI result and consultation with me, and he goes, as he's sitting in his chair, his wheelchair, and he's writing a prescription, he goes, "Your chronic back pain, take Advil for that." And he's writing the prescription, and I go, "You're writing a prescription, I can see you." So what is that for? Because Advil is over the counter. And he goes, "Oh," and he tears it off and he hands it to me and he goes, "This is for the depression." And I said, I don't want to take anything for depression. That doesn't work for me. And he's like, "Well, if you don't take it, you're going to be more depressed." That was his summation of my situation, that I needed drugs to make me be okay with his diagnosis. And I thought, these are not the right people to talk to for these conditions. Nothing was really broken. I wasn't bleeding out. I was in chronic pain, but they weren't offering me pain pills, and I didn't want to take anything that was something I could become addicted to. So these were my frameworks. I was, look, in my mind, I need to satisfy this idea that if you give your body what it needs, it can heal itself. And that was then the switch that made me do the search. Not so much the constant rejection of, "Well, you don't know what's wrong with you, and here's a pill." It was, ah, slowly, slowly, surely believing there must be an answer. It's just not where I'm looking.
Got it. And then that started your own journey and your own exploration and growth. And ultimately, I'm assuming healing yourself.
Oh
And
yeah.
then, yes, and then crafting all of that. So now you're sharing your wisdom and healing with others. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So how, like, what kind of services, or how do you heal? I mean, I know that we talked about this a little bit before we actually got on the show, but just give me, if I were to come to you and I say, I don't know what's going on, like, where would you even start? Hello, friends. Quick question. Are you ready to stop living day by day, doing the same old thing, hating Mondays and looking forward to Fridays? Aren't you tired of this? Wouldn't you love not knowing what day of the week it is because you're living every day with so much joy in your career and relationships? Then it's time to step into your next level with Dream Builder Essentials with Sharon Vidano. This isn't just another course. It's a transformational journey. Here you'll learn to harness the power of intention, imagination, and the universal laws. You've heard of the law of attraction, right? Well, they are always working for you. You just need the awareness to apply them. In just a few weeks, you'll learn how to identify what you truly want, not just what's reasonable or what you think you can have. You'll also learn how to rewrite the limiting stories that keep you stuck and activate your vision with tools that actually work. You'll move from wishing to creating this life that you love, all because we know that everything is created twice, first in thought, then in form. So if you're ready to build a life you absolutely love, visit lifecoachsharon.com and enroll today. Your dream is waiting. Let's build it together.
Yeah, there's been an expansion and evolution of my own healing journey that has led me to realize that it's not just the physical body, but the physical body is the foundation. It's the place where our spirit lives. And without that combination working together in harmony, we degrade in one place or the other. So what I found in the spirit realm and metaphysics and in energy work, that if I'm not aligned with my life's mission, even if I don't exactly know what that purpose is. A lot of people go, "I wish I had a purpose." Be careful what you ask for, because once you have it, you can't do anything else but that. Just saying. But once you know what it is and you're on that path and working it, you need to have a body that supports you, that doesn't distract you. So they really do work hand in hand. And so my first step always is an intake. I'm like, all right, let's hear what's going on. And you hear the stories. You hear somebody repeating, "Oh, I can't control that," or "I can't do that," or "I don't have the money for that." You hear their limitation. You hear what's going on. "Oh, ever since my grandmother passed away, is that things have been different and I don't understand why. And I'm seeing things or I'm hearing things or whatever." And that brings anxiety and a level of of cortisol or stress response in the body, it reflects. So these two things, true holistic healing is how one end of the spectrum of being affects the physical. So it's that intake. And then it goes into what I call mineral balancing work, getting the body fortified so that it can contain you, so that it can support you, bring all of your elements that make up your physical body into an ideal place. So you sleep better at night. Now you can think during the day. You can process your emotions. You can remember your dreams. And maybe even in the dreams, there's messages about your purpose. Like there's all of these things that work together. And it's an ongoing, almost like a surfer's journey. You're looking for that perfect wave and you want to ride it and then go back out and then look for another perfect wave and ride it. And that's what it's like. So starts with questions.
Got it. And it sounds like yes, you talk about, you know, spiritual and metaphysics, and but it's also very scientific when you're talking about the mineralization of the body. It's almost like a science experiment within the body itself. And then once you fine tune that, because when how we feel physically, and I think it's I'm this is my words, chicken or the egg. When you feel like crap, your energy is crap. So
Yes.
so yeah, or but if your energy is crap, then you feel like crap, so you don't know which
Yes.
one comes first. So
Yes.
so what how would you even, like, would you just pick a point and just start healing there, or would you do both, or
Yeah. There's no one right or wrong way to do it. There's just starting. And I like to say that the whole you is in the center of this wheel that has doorways to it. And you start on any of the doorways is going to get you in. And then from there, you work the journey. So that's the metaphor I would use to describe how do you start? Where do you start? Start. Put your foots forward. Be curious. Find out. And oftentimes, it's it is a combination of the two because you can have this is where my gifts come in. So my gifts of intuition and hearing the spirit communication, that's one of my spiritual gifts is spirit communication. Eva, what does that mean? That means that all of the unseen forces on the other side of what's known as the veil between our three-dimensional world, what we see, what we feel, what we touch, all of these things here before us that we can see with our eyes, that we can hear with these ears. That's one dimension. But there are many, many others that involve some people, beings, angels, guides, loved ones, ancestors that we cannot see with these eyes anymore. And that spirit communication is one of my gifts. So if I'm in a conversation with you and you share with me, like I mentioned, maybe my grandmother passed. In that moment, you sharing that with me gives me what's called a permission slip to receive message from spirit for you and go, oh, this is an ancestral inheritance that's interfering with your energy. Let's clear that. Let it settle. Let your body get used to it. It takes about 2 weeks for the body to settle into the new energies and then see what's next. And so it's a slow progress. It's not where I can just erase whatever's wrong, take a wand and go, oh, all right, let's clear that. Let's, smooth these lines, smooth these energies and do a one-off. No, this is again, you enter that door of the wheel and get to the core of wholeness. And you walk the journey and you see where one thing leads to another because it's never we're getting to a destination and that's it. As we get to the place what we think is the destination and we look and see there's so much more.
wow, that's, yeah, that's really enlightening and just really painting a picture how it holistic, just like you said, it's all encompassing, not just compartmentalize different things, and when you try to heal one section, it may not even affect the other. So
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
that's where the intuition comes in to help me see what is the core reason for this energy drain. By the time it reaches the physical body, if it is a spiritual interference, it's had time to sit in your energy space to slow down enough to become a symptom. It's going to take some time to reverse it, but just trying to work on the symptom and ignoring that spiritual part is a mistake because you could clear over here. Do everything in your power. I go to the gym, I work out right, I eat clean, I do all the things, but I'm not getting better. That's a clue.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So if someone were to come to you, is it a series? Is it a program? Is it a series of classes? Is it, obviously it's not one off
No.
because so just like you said.
No.
So what does
Yeah.
it look like working with you?
It looks like a little bit of, I know I sound crazy, but just stick with me. And it's a trusting of the process and letting things unfold. So it is usually at least a year's worth of dedicated work that is all done one-on-one. There's nothing here
Mm,
that is done in big classroom books and me saying, okay, you're healed on the forehead. Be done, go on, think on it no more. Like it's not like that. This is one-on-one conversation, healings, both in person and remote. And it's just taking the faith into my body knows what it needs to do. I'm going to learn how to communicate with it and then develop those skills so that whatever work we do together for that year far outlasts the time that we've spent together.
beautiful, beautiful. Well, that sounds wonderful. And I know that my listeners will find so much value in this. And thank you for coming on the show. So if they want to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you?
Best place to find me is on my website. So you can go to theelevateinstitute.com and you'll recognize you're on the right place because you'll see my picture across the front and all over it, along with all these different things that you can dig into and consume while you're there. One of which is a free gift. It's the Essential Energy Quotient Test. If we know our IQ, we know our EQ, but we've never tested our EEQ. That's because it's the test I invented. And so you can see what your FICO score is for healing by taking this test and getting the free download companion book to go with it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'm sure my audience is going to learn so much from you. And yes, please go to her website and get her free gift. So thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming to the Sharon Vidano Show. I hope you had an amazing time and I hope this episode served you. My intention is to help you live a life you love. If you love the show, please like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and I'll see you in the next episode.